Does it make the music?
Good morning, everybody. It's college football game day. Hell yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Hell yeah.
Jimmy John's new All-American Beefy Crunch is full of lies. Thousand Island dressing, Canada, crispy onion strings,
Texas
American
versus
cheese
TCU.
from America. Come on, Steve, get it together at Jimmy John's for
Oh, yeah.
limited time.
That'll be the game tonight. Hell yeah.
Coach, you don't need to get that personal. The State Farm Personal Price Plan just helps you create an affordable
What's up,
price. It happened again. Call it quick to get a quote
man?
today.
College football, baby.
State Farm
Game day's on, man.
Tonight will be madness. Welcome to Hall. This is so sad.
Yeah, college football.
Something special.
I love you all.
We're gonna do
Good morning. God dang fucking Ouija boards.
Subway's dropping 12 new subs for the all-new Subway series menu.
New monstrous juicy steak and crispy bacon.
But what about the new boss? It looks so good. It makes me hangry.
Settle down there, big guy.
The new Subway series. What's your pick?
Are we still
Oh,
over
dude.
three? Your team needs more space to work and eat. Carl, is that mackerel?
Yeah.
No, it's a trout.
It matters where you stay.
Fish tacos?
Carl.
I'm still,
Hilton for the stay.
Car
I'm
shopping in
still
Alita.
tired,
Hey,
Paul.
how do I know this car is a great deal?
Gotta get up for
The Cargoes
football,
takes the
though.
guesswork out. Factor in
I know
vehicle
it'll
history,
start,
days
Joe.
on lot, even dealer reviews to make
Yeah,
sure this
that
car
was,
is a great deal.
Let's circle back.
Cargoes. Start your search, find your deal.
There's anyone here who knows why they should not be joined in
Sure.
He's short. He's so weirdly short.
Girl, that's too much.
It's college football with AT&T 5G. It's never too much.
What's the score?
You're looking very handsome, Tyler. Very tall.
AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
Oh, he ain't answering me on that, on the old board, huh? The old Ouija.
Then it kind of
Luigi.
became an obsession. I'm Tom Pounds, and this is the story of the cougar that wouldn't quit. We threw
Yeah,
Old
dude.
Crimson at every game day.
But it was
After
fun,
15
man.
Years,
That was
game
fun.
day finally came to Washington State.
I gotta admit, yeah, that
I
was
lost my mind.
that
Now we keep doing
good
it
times
because
last
game
night,
day
dude.
isn't just
Hell
a
yeah,
game,
bro.
it's a lifestyle.
Very, very interesting. Very.
College Game Day is built
Yeah.
by the Home Depot.
Yeah.
Outdoors, get more done. And in part by Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment.
Yeah, it was,
Made
dude.
to
It was
chill.
cool as fuck, dude. I gotta admit, man, yeah, the time fucking flew, man. The next time I didn't even realize, damn, it's fucking 2 o'clock in the morning.
That seems the
But,
gentler
yeah.
version of people, doesn't it? Yeah, he has to pay for those. He's got a college game day gold belt buckle. You don't last from the 1800s without charging people. That's right, boy. SC Colorado on Friday night. Yeah, SC didn't play well. This was really the toughest one tonight.
Yeah.
Travis Dye goes down with a knee injury or a leg injury, and Lincoln Riley said after the game, almost certainly done for the season.
Yeah, hate to see that.
Here's Caleb Williams as David Pollock is joined us finding Brendan Rice. Jerry's son gets in for the touchdown. Sometimes it's hard to respond after you see a team out there.
It's anybody get injured, so hope he gets better.
These men out of kicking a
Everybody relax. Everybody relax.
And then Kentucky played last. Hey man, I so look here. Even though I missed Kentucky play ball last time, but that's all right. It was worth it. It was worth it.
But it looks like USC team's having a good time.
And so far they are. SC sitting there with one conference loss. They've got 2 games left. They've got UCLA and then a non-conference game against Notre Dame. Remember, they lose the head-to-head tiebreaker to Utah. So they
That's fact, bro, man. We got to do that again sometime, man. That was great.
No divisions this year.
Yeah.
Top 2 teams.
Tell Mrs. Harvey
20 years, Home Depot.
I
has been
said
the title
morning.
sponsor. You know,
Good morning.
back in 2003 that the first time Old Crimson made an appearance here, and here in Austin too. See Old Crimson waving
Yeah.
back there
Got
amidst
to
the
tell
sun?
Mrs. Harvey
It's
good
wave.
morning.
It's really good, strong left to right wave. Real consistent.
Hey, tell her, hey, I don't know, can she hear me? Can Miss Harvey hear me?
284 times in a row. They play Arizona State today. Cougs are 10-point favorite.
I don't know much about Beaver, but please do not put that red flag in front of Beaver.
Pollock is here, and Bears wasted no time. You've got the Cougs and Sun Devils on the board there.
Yeah, I think Arizona State is a team that
Oh,
can't
hell.
stop the run at all.
Well, guess what? I didn't have to worry about. I didn't wake up with a bloody nose, and nothing was thrown at me in my sleep.
Wazoo had the big win over Stanford
So,
last week.
there you go.
They kind of struggled a little bit. I see Pat pointing. I'm going to take the old Sun Devils.
Didn't you take them last week? You took them last week and lost.
And they threw the interception in the end zone at the end of the game.
So you're going back to the well.
It would have been exactly what I said. A nice, clean, crisp 10-point win for UCLA. Had they not put an interception in the end zone at the end of the game. Go ahead,
A little bit of a rough stretch here. But
Yeah,
how do we get
so
off that?
nothing was thrown at me in my sleep. I didn't wake up.
But how's the college doing? The college.
But I laid there, dude, when after I got up. That's that, dude. And fell asleep with my glasses on, dude. And I'll show you on camera and show you what happened. I woke up. Only one bad thing. happened.
University of when he was a head coach. They can be 10-0 for the first time at Michigan under Harbaugh. Nebraska comes in. Nebraska still.
Well, the only one bad thing, man. My dumb ass fell asleep with my glasses on, dude. I was wore out. This.
Quarterback play hasn't been good. Auburn's been great, by the way, wide receiver. You feel bad for
The
him.
screw
even though
popped out,
quarterback play
man,
hasn't
right
been good,
there.
and then Corum and Edwards, and then I think continue to
That's the
find
only
running
thing
back
where I
down
fell
the
asleep
field.
with my glasses.
Michigan's going to continue to develop this deep passing game, I think, if they want to make a run. So, nice 30-point spread. Let's go. Hey, it's a great debate, 97.
Yeah, first ever Bussin' Bowl, 39-point spread. Not
That's
great.
the only
Indiana
bad
against
thing
Ohio
that
State.
happened.
Indiana flat out has not been
Is
good at
that,
football
but
this
not
year.
really
They
bad
have not
because
been
it
great.
still works.
Ohio State on the flip side has
See.
stars galore. Marvin
Bad.
Harrison Jr., Mayan Williams, Emeka
But that's all right. See, we can,
And then on the defensive side of the ball, you got JT Tuimoloau. Today's a day where the Ohio State team has to show up. Indiana's the right team for them to do it against, and the college football playoff committee is going to be watching with close eye.
oh, yeah, they're fucking, oh, yeah.
There are some extenuating circumstances.
Yeah,
here.
they're,
The weather was
and it's called old ass glasses.
7,000 mile an hour winds.
I need to get my lazy ass. Damn, excuse me. And go get some new ones because these are older than fuck.
Get it at all. They're still the only team in the country in top 5 in offensive and defensive efficiency. So you're not worried at all.
No.
Like just put them in the playoffs. No, I didn't say that. I
But
just said
let's
that
see here.
everybody's, oh, what's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with it.
Uh,
When I watch
I
Ohio
didn't
State,
even think
it
they ever. I
feels
don't
like
know
they're a
if
team
I've ever
that's
asked you,
built
are
into
you
the-
a college
It
football
feels like
fan?
They want to run. They want to be physical. They want to run the football. Like last year, you saw it. They did such a great job throwing the ball over the yard, and they were pretty and had all these weapons. And then they got the Michigan game, and they couldn't
Ohio
run the
State.
football, and they lost. Kirk, I feel like they're trying to build this team. They're running the football a lot more predictable situations. They don't care. They're running the football. I think they're trying to prove that they're physical, and they're not going to accept anything less than being a physical.
But if you go back to that Michigan
No,
game,
dude. I don't know. I can't tell, really. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
see if
coming
it's
again,
still in it
right?
snow and the
or
wind,
not
and
because
CJ
I got
Stroud,
that little
he just-
screwdriver.
the offensive line wasn't
Oh, it
able to
actually
control
is in
things.
it.
Think back to
Damn.
that game. Aiden Hutchinson
Hey,
had his
babe.
way with the Ohio State
You
offensive
got
line.
that little,
So
you know
I
what
think
that
you're
little
right. They are
screwdriver
trying to
is?
build towards that game. But they've got to get better up front. They've got to be able to run the football. Think about the continuity of that offense to me does.
They just unscrewed the screw on me, Mrs. Harvey.
Those guys have been, one of them has been banged up out of the last 4 weeks. One's out, the other one's trying to battle through some injuries. That they've got to get that going.
Yeah.
Where you're gonna play coverage, no problem. The offensive line and these backs are gonna win the game for us. They weren't able to do that last year against Michigan. Will they be able to potentially have to do that this year? And we'll see.
When I watch Ohio State play, I guess the expectations are like right here because of the way they recruit and because of what they've been able to do under Ryan Day. So when you go to Happy Valley and you struggle against a Penn State team, when you play a 1-7 Northwestern team, they play in the same conditions. And I would assume that if your roster is stronger than Northwestern's roster,
Don't watch much sports
you should
anymore.
be able to move them and move the ball just by your
I haven't
personnel
been
alone.
watching as much as I
that's
used
why people
to.
are saying, why are they struggling? This is Northwestern. They've lost 7 straight
That's
games.
because I'm usually
we
now
just
on
did
the
little
phone talking
bracket.
to
They have
either
stars
you
here,
or
stars there, 5 stars here. But you're not moving Northwestern off the ball.
Or OG.
They play the same way. So I think that's what people see when they say, why is Ohio State struggling? Because the
Or I
expectation
forget.
is a standard.
Yeah, for sure.
But
They have a standard.
oh,
that we're
no,
used to
man,
seeing.
I do-
And we're not
I
seeing it against some
Last
of the
night was
more,
worth missing the Kentucky
opponents who
game.
are not up to their personnel.
They ended up beating the hell out of me
And I
anyway.
think the reason why it's a discussion is because the last game
By
of
like
the year
30
against Michigan,
points.
if Ohio State loses, is there going to be a
see
chance
how.
for 2 Big Ten teams to make it into the college football playoff? Obviously, Michigan would have to go on to win the Big Ten championship against a Big Ten West that has, I think 45 teams that could potentially win the Big Ten West. But if you start looking at just the scores, okay, and I'm new to this, so I don't understand the college football playoff committee, and I know Northwestern was close. Penn State, JT, Tui Moloa.
JTT, just JTT.
He had to make a play.
I call it 44.
He had to go
AKA 44.
He had to go unconscious in the fourth quarter for them to win that game.
100%.
But if you just look at the scores, 21-10 over Notre Dame. Notre Dame's coming back. 45-12, 77-21, 52-21, 49-10, 49-20, 54-10, 44-31, 21-7. I think on paper, the
Fixed
scores
them.
are big enough. They
See?
haven't played great, I don't think they put it all together. But if they're going to be trying to sway people into thinking they should
There
be
you
college
go,
football playoff
Miss
with one
Harvey.
loss, I think it's
So
time to look at the
saying,
scores and say
yeah.
they stink. I
Hey.
think they are blowing people out. But the North
Do what?
They're blowing out the inferior
Yes.
opponents. They play against a team with a pulse, they struggle.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little more CFT in a bit, and you'll see them blow out an inferior opponent. Big number.
Well, I got on here to talk a little bit about anything really. I just put football because, game day was on. I like watching game day and see who all's what, when, where, what's playing.
Who was the last?
Yeah, so stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Mrs. Harvey.
So it's like 90 years ago.
This is more of a good, did you know type because of the accent.
Is this what
No, I'm joking. That's cool though. But, but I still think you're nuts though.
The last time they played a ranked versus ranked game, they were in the SEC. Correct. They played LSU. I thought LSU won that game. I'm still going to say LSU. That's Georgia Tech. Yeah, we'll go on Georgia Tech. Texas Tech. I think whatever they say. We got like a commercial. Yeah, we got time to toss it around. All right, we'll put our heads together.
Oh, did it fucking? Oh yeah, I meant to ask it. I forgot, man. Did it end up fucking snowing? So it snowed. Did it just do that half inch or more?
Brian Frisket, that ought to be ready. I can't know if Packet stopped last week.
That was a big smoke bologna I popped right there in my mouth. I'm pretty fucked up about this old Texas meat getting shoved down there a little bit later, boys. Everybody relax.
Just Sims out there.
Hey, it fucking snowed up in Falls. Yeah. Fuck hell, last night when we were talking, it was in the 30s.
Because we watched the game in week 2 against Alabama together. So, being people adjacent, you gotta keep your distance a little bit, right? But we have so much more coming up right here.
It's cold as fuck here, dude,
Alabama
and
Clemson are
raining.
ranked neighbors, but
Huh?
it's tough. Gonna get 9 to 10 is
Still
unfamiliar
fucking,
territory,
it's
but that's
53
what
and raining.
This breakdown. Plus, should LSU, who beat the Tide last week, now be on upset alert themselves? Brian Kelly wants to make sure the Bayou Bengals avoid a letdown today at Arkansas.
Oh shit. They're supposed to just get a half, right? They said they got an inch and it still snowed. God damn. Wow. See, I told you, man, that fucking weather thing would lie.
And
Didn't I? I told you that.
No, I know. I'm personally excited to see what questions are gonna throw off the guy today.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
I mean, my intuition wasn't good. I said, watch it not do. Watch it snow more,
People are helping every fan outfan themselves.
Fans
which
like
sucks.
the ultimate entertainers.
But at least you got prepared for it.
The all-out competitors.
What?
And of course, the absolute
I
fanatics.
did. You told me.
This is your goal all out. Gear up with Kohler touchless faucets from the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Made with Mexican spices, made for nacho cheese sauce, only at Taco Bell.
On a Fansville homecoming by Dr. Pepper.
Surprise!
I didn't even pay attention, dude.
Hey, buddy,
I'll
what are
check
you doing
them
here?
out though.
Go State. You replaced me with star quarterback Bryce Young.
We could never replace you.
Here's your Dr. Pepper mug.
Mom?
I gotta go look. I'll be right back.
Came up with dad, me.
Here you go, kid. They're my family now, CJ.
Next time on Fansville.
Hey, brother, get out of my room.
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
I'm the captain
Oh,
of the
shit.
Pee Wee football team. We may be small, but we are.
Yeah, I just went and looked at it. Wow, that's pretty good little snow, man. I ain't seen none. I ain't seen none in a while, man. It's actually nice to see some, but it still sucks. And it looks like it. Yeah, let's put a good little snow on there, man.
I feel like I'm in a dream. It's intoxicating.
That's for sure.
Welcome to the White House.
Oh,
Is going to be exciting. Experience HBO Max with Hulu. Add HBO Max with Hulu and start your free trial today. Add the HBO Max add-on today.
do that. Holy sheesh. Till 1.
This year, take the time to melt
Dang.
into your holiday moments with Lindor.
Damn. Yeah. Well, hell, by the time it gets done, yeah, you might have about 3 inches of snow.
Irresistibly smooth chocolate from the Lindt Master Chocolate
That's all
Tier.
you got. It's 9:34.
One-on-one, Stephon Diggs. He gets set face to form a team. Plus, before Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers square off, all access inside the Cowboys exclusive NBA Club. Kick off your Sunday with us on NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern. ESPN. Back to you in Austin.
All right, Sam, Monday Night Football. Jalen Hurts and the undefeated Eagles taking on the Commanders, 8 Eastern on ESPN. The port that's in the app. Monday Night Countdown kicks off our coverage at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Here in Austin. Hey, is that true? Shower with Pat McAfee.
It's an honor to be in there with you, man. I do appreciate that. Massive respect for that, man. The shower that we had this morning actually was also had a toilet in it. This is the first time I ever stayed in a hotel.
Yeah.
Shower and toilet, same room.
A pooper in the shower.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
no toilet paper needed, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that man a lot. You know what I mean? Sorry about that, everybody.
This is the Game Day Crab Bag. I'm sure you're familiar with this. Any question, any topic,
Oh my
because
God, I have to
Stop. How many FBS
There we go.
schools
You got
are
this.
in the state of Texas? How many?
One,
All right, let's go. We got
two,
Texas,
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 Tech,
TCU,
Texas Tech, Baylor,
Rice,
Houston,
Rice.
UTSA,
I'm helping you.
Yeah.
San Antonio, Texas San Antonio.
UTSA.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even know. I forgot.
SMU.
I lost count.
Texas
Where
Tech.
are we? Where are
I'm
we?
gonna say,
Where are we at? 7, 8,
I'm gonna say
12.
I'm gonna say 10.
10? Serious?
Yes.
10.
What's the
I'm
answer?
gonna go 8.
The 10?
What is the answer? How do you get the answer?
You're supposed to tell Reese. You're supposed to have the answer. I didn't have the answer. I didn't know the 10. Stop.
Shout out to all 10 of those schools.
Who's in bigger trouble, Auburn
10,
or
I was
Texas
close. I
A&M?
said
Wow.
Who's in bigger trouble?
Four guys back to
You
Auburn.
really got to give that one thought. Come on, Texas A&M.
That's what I was gonna say.
From
Man.
what they were to they appreciate it.
I don't know. That's a toss up. I'm gonna go. Me myself. I'm gonna go 50-50.
Auburn ain't in great shape. They don't have a
I can't
coach yet. By the way,
Because both of them ain't worth a
just
fudge.
check in College Game Day. The answer is 12. Damn. I said 12.
Oh, 12? Wow, I didn't know there were 12 FBS.
Nation. Oh, man, we get that. Hey, we get that
TDs.
every
Rushing TDs. TDs.
Oh, TDs.
Yeah, it's different.
What was the
I think
question?
Blake Corum from Michigan. I would say Blake Corum from Michigan.
Great. That's a great.
I mean,
That
that's
sounds right to me.
Yeah,
You said it like you
you
know
got
it.
it. Blake Corum. It's time with this.
That's who I would have probably said, yeah. Michigan running back. Like,
This is you. What do you got?
let's see.
That was a stop.
Who was the best live animal mascot in college football?
Oh.
You know, that's a
Oh.
good question. You know,
Damn, now I missed the
I had the
question.
opportunity to see Smokey the dog jump off
You're
the
fine.
desk when Kirk Herbstreit tried to pat it. The first time I got to see Luke Bryan try to suck face with that dog.
Yeah.
That dog had nothing to do with it because that dog suck face with so many people. It's going to do what it's going to do. But if you're talking about the best live animal mascot, you look no further than Austin, Texas, with the raging bull, the temperamental Bevo, who's already hit one Cowboys hat off of his head today, and he's been side-eyeing us all day.
I don't know. I'm a fan of
Best
Ugly.
live animal mascot in the country.
All right, Herbie. Let's get another one in there.
Let's see what this question is.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow.
Coaches out there. Why
You said
Who's the
you
coach of the
last
year?
right?
It's tough. I'm gonna go with Kelly.
Man,
Kirk, you got a lot of friends, Kirby.
I know, right?
Ron Kelly.
Oh, I like
Or, well, no, that's I forgot. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Michael.
Kirby
Tennessee.
Smart. I mean, after everything that they did last year, all those first rounders that they lost.
Okay, go ahead, David. They start rolling down the middle of your explanation.
Even though I hate to say that.
Who's the next coach at Auburn?
Oh, wow. You're stuck on the Auburn questions today.
Jeff
Golly,
Saturday.
hell.
Jeff Saturday.
Who the hell knows? The next coach of Auburn? I have no idea.
Yeah, I want to get the Auburn job, yeah, so I can get fired. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Get fired
And get paid. And get paid.
I'm going to say Hugh Freeze.
Good one.
I think Hugh Freeze is a good one. Come on,
Wrong question.
Oh, now
He's
he's
ex-coach in Nebraska. So this morning,
Next coach of
I
Nebraska,
was on
no
the
idea.
desk, and I was talking to Mike, who's a Nebraska
Yeah,
fan.
with his hat.
He said there were like rumors there was going to be Deion Sanders.
Really?
With Deion, actually, Coach Prime had to address it with his team that
Wow.
he is not supposed to have any conversation with Nebraska. So it's
Okay.
not going to be Deion. The next coach, Matt Rule.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Matt Rule, that'd be a good coach. He's good, y'all. He's great, y'all.
Pizza Hut's really good, by the way. They got great wings. Everybody talks about their pizza. When can you honestly say Texas is back?
Oh, man.
I'll tell you what.
When can you
It's
honestly
hard not to
Texas
say that if
is
you
back?
win over a number
When they
4
join
team
the
in
SEC.
country, you know, it's your second time hosting College Game Day.
Look at his head.
Sam Ellinger did the bad
look,
years
look.
before. He was
That's
just going
better competition.
And he said they were back
Whenever
there,
they
too.
join, when Oklahoma and Texas join,
Frogs today. It's going to be hard not to say Texas is back in the college football conversation.
but they're still good. But they're playing undefeated TCU, so
Texas, you are the actor. We talk about you.
So Texas Christian Horns.
Who leads the nation in scoring?
We already did that.
No.
Who leads the nation in
Probably
scoring?
the same guy, maybe not. I mean, you know, they got a lot of-
Blake Corum.
no, but scoring, you got quarterbacks, right? So
No, you're right.
they get both.
You're right. Stick
Yeah.
with it. Stick
Yeah,
with it.
Drake May?
Bo Nix. Bo Nix. Stick.
Bo
stick with-
Nix from
stick with
UCLA.
Blake Corum. Okay. Stick with Blake
I think
Corum.
Blake Corum.
I said Blake Corum.
I'm gonna go Blake Corum.
Okay. Reese comes up with these questions.
Well, I didn't know all the answers.
What is a horn? Ooh, wow.
What is a horn frog?
What is a horn frog?
It comes out of their eyes. A frog.
A frog with no shit?
These guys can help you over
I
here.
have no idea.
Old ladies over here.
Paul, what's a horn frog?
And I think it's actually this. Technically, it's not.
Or if Mrs. Harvey can do it, Google me. See if you can Google what the hell a horn frog is.
Blake twice.
Hallucination in 70-plus yard plays. Well, obviously, this is
shit.
the most explosive
Georgia.
team in the entire country. And if you think about the way they run the
No.
offense, you would say, yeah, that team
Probably
definitely has that.
UCLA, maybe.
I'm going to go with the great team that's representing the Big 12. The team in the country. I think it's the Horned Lizards, right? As well as Reese Davis. The Horned Dogs.
That's right, isn't it?
Oh, I was wrong. The horn frog.
That's in fact.
You're not getting out of here, Des.
Oh, that one. Just this thing got completely out of hand. This thing got completely out of hand.
That's all the answers.
Reese, I wish I could tell you that it's not getting out of hand here either because Texas fans are built different. I think I just met Pat McAfee's brother. I mean, what's in here right now? This is your shoe? John, what is that? John, what is there's a beer in his shoe, Pat McAfee. Oh my gosh, do it. It's 8:30.
Nice. Drink the beer out of the shoe. He's doing it.
Oh my God, we're going to break. Before I throw up, we're going to go to break.
Oh man, he chugged the beer out of a Nike shoe.
We got Clemson. Got their first L of the season.
Today, let's paint their
Clemson
dynasty.
lost the game.
Go ahead.
I know they ain't been that good, but they've been doing pretty good here
It's also stuff
lately.
resistant.
Not too bad. But
Their dynasty. The
I'm not
best
a
of their
Clemson fan.
exclusively Home Depot.
and we don't want to hear about commercials. But no, fuck Clemson. Yeah, been 5 minutes. Fuck Clemson. Oh, okay, my bad. Be listening.
Trash. Can't punch this one in.
No problem.
We don't deserve the win. What? It's about 30 yards.
Now, don't be fighting over earbuds. It's okay. Or you just Bluetooth me to the truck speakers. You can hear me in stereo. No, God forbid that. Deal with that. But at least you're listening. Well, let's see here. Oh, where am I at here? We gotta wait on
My son Jaden's 5th birthday, and he
his
wanted
thing,
my husband was a Marine.
which I got premium, so I don't have ads. But
of
of course,
I just knew that we had something extra
ESP,
special for him.
yeah,
And
I don't want to say it. I might get copywritten for saying that fuck it, ESPN has commercials.
David was really excited.
They want to copyright me for saying ESP fucking in. I guess I can just do it. Cause YouTube's weird about that shit. Which is crazy because somebody's playing this right on their YouTube channel.
Official sponsor of the college football playoff.
undefeated TCU. Got a Big 12 matchup.
Yeah, undefeated TCU versus that's my game of the night, y'all. I will be definitely. I ain't gonna say definitely. If everything goes and nothing comes up, I will be live for that game.
Special people are hard to find.
We will be doing that game live, which I know I will be, which probably get a copyright for that because when I've done the national championship with North Carolina and Kansas, I got a strike. Well, I didn't get a strike, but I got a copyright claim on it. I didn't get a strike. I am being blessed so far to have no strikes on my channel. Somehow, I don't know how, but
And that's how you make them, right?
you know, knock on some wood.
Find out how you can own an X-Chair for only $20 a month. Xchair.com.
The football talks on the field, the band nerds on the sideline. There was this collision of two things that aren't supposed to overlap.
Well, but if you're out driving, man, you be careful, all right? You too. Now I just sit there and thought of that, and it just popped in my head, man. But I know you got that truck, but still, be careful, brother. You and Mrs. Harvey, definitely be careful.
Are you ready for the road? Goodyear, more driven. They're looking at a big Bertha there. What a clean up. Look, I gotta fix this.
Yeah, fix this. Clean this up.
It's supposed to be a player
So,
70-yard play. Yeah, Brock Bauer. I always wanted to suggest this question. I forgot to say
is that cold, man? You make me black eyes and shit. So definitely be careful, man. So.
They're ready to root on the burnt orange today. And speaking of orange of a different shade. In Memorial Stadium, they'll run down the hill. Tigers already in the ACC championship game. The question is, do they roar or stumble in? Tigers really coming off an embarrassing loss to Notre Dame. A couple of soul-flushing turnovers in that game. One after Kate Klubnik came off the bench looking
Yeah, that's what I figured. Oh, yeah, most. Oh, yeah, I'm in stereo now. Hell yeah, now that's great if I'm on the truck speak. Mrs. Harvey, I see you.
So they'll have a challenge today. You know, heard a prominent psychologist say once that one of the real dangers of becoming a celebrity is you get locked into what you've already been, and there's no opportunity to change because your economic, your social success is tied to what you have already done. Same can be true for coaches and football programs too, and it's a real question that faces Clemson right now. Are they going to be able to change and grow? Because if you can't, that's not good, man. I mean, seriously, you have to find a way to evolve. A lot of promotion from within, and how the Tigers finish the season will tell the tale about how
I was getting ready to say, I guarantee you, I got to look here. He got some hoodies on and the old John Deere hat.
Far sideline, 40 with a chance to go. He will score. Touchdown, Benjamin Morrison.
The win streak is the longest in the country, 14 games, and it is snapped. No, ask you. That's what it is. We've had bad games, but this is a very disappointing.
What a play by Malik. Oh, my goodness.
Another opportunity this week. This quarterback is special. He's a very dynamic player. Really good running backs, just like last week. Defensively, second in the nation in sacks. They got a bunch of turnovers that they created. We're a better team.
But I do like their head coach at Clemson, Dabo Swinney. He's a hell of a coach. I do like him, but I just don't much. Yeah. That makes sense. Probably not, but oh, freaking well.
Look, we understand one lost their top 10, but we're measuring them. As Desmond talked about Ohio State.
Well, they've only lost one out of 14 games. That's not bad.
See how they played in the first half. Last couple of games, they pulled the Syracuse game out. They did not against Notre Dame. Now they've got a lot of new on their coaching staff. 3 offensive positions in their first or second year as the authority Pete Thamel joins us, and virtually all Pete are from the Clemson family somehow. You have to wonder if they have to make some changes to avoid getting stale.
Gary's Clemson staring at a 2-year cold snap here, a drought from the college football playoff that comes in the wake of 6 straight college football playoffs from 2015 to 2020. That run began largely because Clemson invested heavily from the outside in its coordinator position. It brought in Brent Venables from Oklahoma as the DC. It brought in Chad Morris as the offensive coordinator. That helped chart the course of that great Clemson run. Last year, Dabo Swinney doubled down on internal hires. He promoted Brandon Streeter as OC and play caller. Wes Goodwin is the defensive coordinator and play caller. It's easy to say with Clemson not in the top 3 in offense or defense in ACC play that the sum of the talent there is greater than the parts. And a fair question to ask as this season closes is whether Dabo Swinney needs to go back outside to begin another streak of playoff appearances.
We'll find that out
over the next few weeks for sure. Clemson went to see the movie Black Panther last night, and Dabo sort of told the guys
there's a new Black Panther movie?
Superheroes, which they really haven't lately.
Yeah, Wakanda forever for sure. But like whenever you think about that team, and it's easy to talk about the quarterback situation because DJ Uiagalelei hasn't performed, up to the level in which we're used to Clemson quarterbacks performing. Cade Klubnik's been put in some very difficult situations. Late in the third quarter, backed up, they're down. He throws a pick. It's automatic that he gets pulled out. DJ gets put back in there. But if you focus on the defense a little bit, and I don't know if Pete's talking about utilizing the transfer portal or NIL.
I forgot. Yeah, because it's not called Black Panther. I think it's called like Wakanda.
That's manhandling of a once dominant defensive line. 2 games before that against Florida State.
The Black Panther movies are all right.
I think it's a potential identity crisis right now for this Clemson team. And if you don't figure it out,
they do got some badass technology. Shit.
Penthouse to outhouse real quick in this college football world. I don't know how Dabo fixes that, but hopefully he does because I love those people.
Yeah, and I think I went back and I looked.
But I do think Michael B. Jordan is better
for the better.
Black Panther, the original
if you go back and look
Black
at these
Panther
last
for the first one.
This year and last year, it's their lowest 2 years of passing yards per game that they've had since going back to before.
Lady's on the phone, or I'd ask her to look up.
You can look at DJ and blame it all on him. I don't see when Clemson used to take the field,
Jordan plays
they struck fear in your heart because of the playmaking ability they had on the perimeter and what they had in the backfield. Now when you watch them, they have good players, but they don't have guys that make you go, you better look out for Mike Williams. You better look out for Hunter Renfrow. You better look out for Travis Etienne. You have good players, but they don't have the players right now developed where they will make plays on any.
And they can't say they've been on a rebuild because
they also had a 6-year
they haven't been good for 2 years.
I mean, that's enough to make Todd.
Which I don't know, it does take a little bit to rebuild.
That's enough to make any coordinator look good, any program
unless you like Alabama or Georgia.
They got to find their trigger man. And we talked about
this a year ago.
I remember talking about this a year ago. Transfer portal. It's something they
DJ Uiagalelei
past year, and you're not bringing on
would
guys.
actually would have been a hell of a quarterback, but
we know that. We love Dabo Swinney, how he carries himself, what he does.
But they are ranked 10th in the country, so
compromise your program, Des, by bringing in transfer portal.
Can't beat that. And they've only lost one damn game, so
Faith's family, how they
can't be complaining too damn bad.
It is a different place. The way they carry themselves is very different, and it's very cool what they do in Clemson. You guys hit it on the head when you talked about their Joes, like their players. They had Kelly Bryant, they had Deshaun Watson, they had Taj Boyd, they had elite players at the quarterback position. We don't see that right now.
Told
but
you.
The other part
I knew
of
they
this
were
is
coming to
the
that.
coordinator.
Damn, am I good or am I good?
Tony Elliott. These guys are
need a
not
QB.
robots. So when a quarterback is struggling, or when an offense isn't right in rhythm, the coordinator knows what buttons to push, either to get the quarterback back on track or to get the offense back on track. And what happens is you lose some excellent
because you don't watch sports too much, I guess.
Guys within, you may not have the right guys calling the plays. That may be the issue. Now, they don't have the elite talent like you talked about. The Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
Those guys, right. But yet and still, you still have enough talent.
Enough rhythm.
Absolutely.
Well, they've only lost once.
It reminds me a little bit of
So they
2014.
got
Cole
the
Stout
talent.
was the quarterback, and they showed loyalty to him all the way through until they finally said, "Man, this Deshaun Watson
kept
freshman
shooting
guy,
himself in the foot.
We got to give him a chance." And eventually he took over.
And then giving up the big
it feels
plays,
a little
man.
bit like that with young Cole.
Can't
waiting
do
to
that
kind
and
of
win a
become
game.
the guy.
Jabo's loyalty is admirable, and he stuck by DJ's side in there. They need a spark.
The star of the show is here, y'all.
He said, "This is my guy. DJ's my guy." I was like, Well, I think that's more about.
Yeah, we'll see how quickly they go to Case.
Star of the show is here.
It's a very hot political team. It feels as if they can kind of make their season. But today we return, Gary.
Say hello, everybody. Jazz boy.
TCU wearing the burnt orange now. Players and coaches react to the change in the
Yeah.
today. And we've been miking up coaches all season. This is going to be a treat. Notre Dame star tight end Michael Mayer is going to be
Star of the show, y'all. Star of Shane Reacts right there, y'all.
$500 million to veteran causes by 2025. And
Jazzy
our
boy.
Veterans Day, Home Depot giving back, including a project here in Austin.
Get out of my team, you dick.
Make the local veterans home much more accessible. Follow along and hashtag Operation Surprise to see how the Home Depot Foundation and Team Depot are giving back to our veterans, and we salute all of the veterans, those who have served our country, and we'll have plenty on that coming, including those on our college game day team, including Anthony Barney, who's a member of our family, Brian Metzger, all of these guys. We salute them for what they have sacrificed and what they've done for our country. There's Ron Velez, our buddy who takes care of us in security every week.
Shout out to the damn man. Wow, look at this dude.
He's a great cook too.
And we thank all of them for what they've done for our country, for what they do for us every week here at College Game Day.
And
Brett Ellis from
I meant to give a shout out to my late uncle.
My name is Staff Sergeant Robert McMillan, currently stationed in Sinai, Egypt. We just want to say, welcome.
To my late uncle, who he's passed away, he's buried in Arlington. You know, Veterans Day. I meant
see a grand transformation.
to say that yesterday on the show,
stringways and plenty of treats.
but
We worked through the night preparing our splendor for Black Friday savings.
didn't get to. So yeah, shout out to
And what we do
my
next
may
is
he rest in
always
peace.
fantastic,
And
because we have the tools to make your holiday magic. The Home Depot, outdoers get more done.
alright, yeah, come on. Now we can talk about other stuff for the moment till game day comes back on. Yeah. Yeah.
Check off all the tech on your list with great prices all season long.
But yeah, Veterans Day come gone, but we thank y'all
Shop Black Friday deals
for
right
your
now
service.
at Best Buy.
Even Triple T, even though
See more people lift me on
we
the
don't
list.
see eye to eye, I think some of your shit's crazy, but thank you for your service, dude. But you know,
They left a ton of stuff.
everybody already knows, Paul knows, everybody, yeah. He don't act like he should.
Well, enjoy your house. Nope.
Like I was saying, if my
Homeowners and renters insurance.
cousin who's a colonel in the Air Force would see how he acts on here, man, yeah.
Pacifico is
I already know what he would say.
brewed for the. It's what's behind a label that matters.
But that's not why we're here this morning.
That might sound fancy.
Or, hell, who knows? We go every which direction on here. With,
She likes her big city noise here. I'm looking for someone who enjoys the soothing sounds of the ocean. I might have a rocky
whatever happens to pop up in my head, hell, with
breakfast on the house. So if you're looking for a warm place to stay, toss another log on the fire.
This past year, we've all let ourselves go a little. But now it's time for everyone to step up their game. With Wolf and Shepherd. Wolf and Shepherds look great with full grain, Italian leather, and classic styling.
nice shoes.
But they're my go-to shoes because of how they feel. Cushy, light, super comfortable. Okay, guys, let's get to work.
From Holiday Hills, Illinois, to Rudolph, Wisconsin.
But I'd like to thank anybody and everybody who pops in here this morning. Thank you.
Texas, to North Pole, New York. Every heritage. We are holiday ready with fast and reliable delivery, serving every address
interest in America. The United States Postal Service. We plan the perfect thank you for the promotional product experts at Fort Input who attended to every.
Come on, I hate commercials. Let's get back talking about some football. Come on. If not, I'm gonna start talking. We'll just get on a subject, and I know someone that's listening that will like. We'll start talking about some aliens and shit, and some fucking Illuminati or some crazy shit. Which, I don't know, it's not crazy. It is crazy to me. Some other stuff is crazy, but it's interesting to me. I get into that stuff. Paranormal, all that good stuff.
Give it a heads up. It's 2022, man. They're bringing the heavy artillery for TCU tonight. They're favored. They want to knock off the undefeated Horned Frogs. Jen Landon's going to go one-on-one with TCU quarterback Max Duggan. He is the under-frog hero primetime matchup on
He's a good one.
tonight. It's never too late. Veterans Day weekend, Jim Wojciechowski was a remarkable 49-year-old double as a college football player. He's also a veteran and three-time major winner, 13-time winner on tour. Former Texas golfer Jordan Spieth joins us on set as our
Jordan Spieth.
Picker. Well, Texas wants to win a football game tonight, but the Texas women's program has won a ton.
And yes, I watch golf too. My dad got me hooked on it. Oh, congratulations, man. You won the Texas what? Yeah, I think the soccer, Texas soccer won the national championship, I believe. So congratulations to them. Alabama and Ole Miss.
Kiffin. Fans have been known to throw red stilettos in exasperation,
Kiffin
and exuberance based on what happened against Alabama. Alabama hasn't lost a game on the road since 2010 in which the fans did not storm the field. But might today be the end of an era where the Tide suffers a road loss and everybody keeps their shoes on their feet and their rear ends in the seats. Here's your ball game. They will storm in LSU.
I don't think we were locked into what the play calling was. We got kind of scattered a little bit, a lot of penalties that don't take away the focus on what coach is calling. We talk all the time about playing one play at a time for 60 minutes in a game like it has a history and a life of its own. And no matter what happened on the last play, focus on the next play. And that's something that we need to improve on. And it's something that's been hard done all year long.
We don't have our heads down. We are quitting on ourselves. There's still opportunity that we have to create body process and continue.
You see some of the things that Alabama's dealing with. They've lost a couple of games on the final play. Now, I want you to think about this.
Yeah, and they are not, for the first time in a minute, they are not going to the CFP.
In the fourth quarter overtime. They've given up scores on 17 of those drives. 12 times the teams have tied or taken the lead, and they've won the game in 3 of 5 opportunities against that Crimson Tide defense. So the question, is this a blip, or are they in need of a reset?
Wow, I would say it's a blip. I think there's an overreaction. Obviously, at this time of the year, normally
it's Alabama. They'd be all right.
The college football playoff
1 year,
either number 1 or number 2, and they're just cruising to the SEC championship game. But now, because that's not the case, I think people are overreacting. Now, they've struggled on the road. Had a tough game here. They won against the Longhorns early in the season, lost on the road against Tennessee, and obviously again on the road against LSU. But I still believe they have enough talent. Nick Saban hasn't forgotten how to coach. I think this is a blip. They will be able to get. They've been exploiting some weaknesses, obviously, especially on the back end of their defense. But David, I think it's more of a blip for Alabama.
I feel like it's a trend. I feel like it will continue. When I watch Alabama,
they ain't got the same caliber of players. Alabama
several years ago
they've had in the last few
trajectory of the program. It's an
Seasons.
unbelievable job. When
I mean, they got a hell of a quarterback, of course.
And more focused on QBs,
Yeah.
wide receivers, skill positions. And what they lost to me
Right.
was they lost a little bit of the toughness that they had. And now you see all the penalties, the mistakes. I think as currently constructed, I think this would be a trend. I think there will be changes to the program in the very near future.
Oh,
but
well, yeah.
I
I think there'll be changes to the program, for sure.
There wasn't the physicality in the
And
trenches.
that'll
and
be, I
running
believe,
back
some
after running
people
back
will be
after running back.
fired.
And now,
I believe we'll
yeah,
see
we're
some
talking about
new
receiver after receiver and quarterback, but I
coordinators.
think they lost a little bit of that edge.
I would say that what they've had is an embarrassment of riches in the perimeter. Oof. And they don't right now. Like Jameer Gibbs is their guy. Like when you pull out the film and you're LSU or you're Ole Miss, all right, let's see what they have. You see number one, just flashes everywhere. You see 80 occasionally. Okay, we got to keep an eye on him. Tight end, pretty good player. But you don't see Henry Ruggs. You don't see Jerry Judy. You don't see all these. You got so many names in my head. You can't even remember.
We can go all the way down the list.
Jalen Waddle. You got so many playmakers that are unique, and you don't have that. So it makes it real hard for Bill O'Brien. Yeah, we know Bryce Young can do things. They can run the football. They still have great linemen. But you don't have to fear the threat of those vertical shots the way you used to. So I think it makes it a little
No,
bit
they ain't got
easier
no
to
wide
defend them. They're
receivers
still
really
Alabama.
this
I'm
year.
not
I mean,
overreacting the way other
they're
people
not
are
bad,
this
but
week.
they, like you said, there ain't
They're
no
not
Jerry
overreacting.
Judy,
They make some
Waddle,
very logical
Ruggs,
sense.
Devontae Smith. No.
They lost 2 games. It was a knuckle curve against Tennessee. It was a last-second play that ended up going Brian Kelly going for 2. I mean, let's keep it in perspective. But they don't have the playmakers on the outside.
Yeah, and to your point about all the playmakers not being there anymore, with those 2 plays going a different way, Alabama's undefeated. We're still talking about it maybe being in this whole thing.
Fair.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Can
a
I
trend.
interject real quick
Hold
on
on.
that?
Can I say this, though, and then you can follow up?
Yeah.
They have the number 1 recruiting class coming in 2023. They're probably
And
got
they're probably the
5,
one after
6.
that.
Yeah, so I don't think this is something that Nick Saban
No.
is inevitably falling
They'll
off and
be
forgot
back
how to
next
coach or
year,
Alabama
for
isn't
sure.
Alabama anymore.
They
I
shouldn't
think
have
it's 2
lost to
plays that normally
Tennessee
go their
or
way,
LSU.
didn't go their way, and now we got to question everything. Now, to your point.
Okay. There's also
They should be
one play at
undefeated.
Texas, one play at Texas A&M, and they have 4 losses.
Yeah. That's football.
Hey,
Paul.
I'm just saying.
Bears got
real
Bears
quick
got
here,
something.
man. Get in there, Bear. Get out there.
I think it is a trend, by the way, because you look at Alabama, the last 17 games against SEC opponents, 10 games were either a loss or a single-digit win.
Yeah.
You got to go back to previous 54 games to get
Wow.
10 games that were either a single-digit win or a loss. So whether it's Alabama sliding, whether it's the rest of the SEC coming up, whether it's Georgia becoming the new ex-Alabama, there is something there.
That's
Good
fair.
point. So it's a trend.
Georgia's
Michael Meyer line.
Georgia's becoming a
Michael
beast.
Meyer's coming up here for
Yeah.
Notre Dame. We'll talk more about
Kirby's
Alabama
created
and Ole Miss
dynasty
coming up in
there.
a little bit. This big game for the Rebels too. The Rebels can stay in that SEC West race.
Notre Dame and
wind up in the SEC championship game
who,
for
the
the first
Navy.
time. Notre Dame and Navy DoorDash Game Day Preps is Marcus Freeman's team coming off that sensational win against Clemson. They just stomped them. These two play not really for the Rip Miller Trophy. He was a player at Notre Dame who coached at Navy later, but it is something to honor this rivalry. And Marcus Freeman will be there.
Best
as
dress
the head
coach right
for the
there.
first time.
Best dress coach.
Always sweet. They'll play this game in Baltimore, and we're really pleased
Notre
to be
Dame,
joined
Navy,
by
Notre
Michael
Dame.
Mayer. Look at the numbers he has put up
big.
in his glorious Notre Dame career. Irish all-time leader among catches, touchdowns, and yards. And Michael gracious enough to represent his team and join us here before the Irish take the field against Navy today. Michael, I want to go back to last week. You guys had the game in control against Clemson. Fourth quarter, you're down there close, and they call a pass to you. What was your reaction when that play call came in?
I think we were all a little bit surprised. I think that entire stadium thought we were going to run the ball. And our quarterback, you can see in the huddle, there's a video of him kind of looking back to the sideline saying, what the heck are we doing? But I think we knew what we wanted to do there. I knew I had one more touchdown to get the record. And I think if you can do that at home against the number 4 team in the nation, I think you ought to try at least one time. So that's what we did, and we executed it.
And you were able to get that record from a bigger picture, putting the hammer down, finishing off a team like Clemson in that environment. What does that represent about where your team is and what they can do the rest of the year?
Our team doesn't stop fighting. We haven't all season. We started out 0-2, not the season we wanted, but we fought back a little bit. We've gained some respect around the country a little bit, and that's not going to stop the next 3 games.
Hey, Michael, it's Kirk. You got to get in the weight room, man. This is trash. My God, what's your latest height and weight? Where are you right now? I mean, you talking about looking the part. Son of a gun. You got the measurables.
I'm big old
about
dude.
6'5" right now. I'm probably 263, 264.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so my question for you, by the way, you're looking great. You're looking great. So this year, your third year, you guys start off 0-2. You lose to
He's definitely the
Marshall,
part.
and you have to regroup. You win 4 in a row, then you lose to Stanford. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Then the huge wins against Syracuse and
6'4",
Clemson. You're one of the
260.
leaders in this team.
Damn, for
You
6'5",
have so much
260
pressure
at
on
the
you
hell
and this
of a,
program. Just
hell
tell
of
us
a
about
tight
what
end.
it's been like to keep this team together with a new head coach, a quarterback change, so much going on, and you guys right now starting to play your best ball.
We knew we were going to have a little bit of adversity coming into the season. You know, we got a new head coach, we had a new quarterback, and now we're playing with our first on the season. And, you know, we got a lot of good leaders on this team. We got a lot of good captains. And so it's pretty easy to kind of keep this team together. We're a very close-knit team. You know, there's some 5th-year, 6th-year guys on here that have been playing football here for a very long time. And so they kind of understand that you need a little bit of camaraderie on the team and things like that. And I think it's just been about, you know, after a bad loss or starting 0-2, just coming back to the practice field, executing, doing what we need to do, and you know, showing that on the football field on Saturdays, and that's what we've been doing as of recently.
Michael, I know you're 6'5", 260. You look 6'6", 230. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know this isn't a part of your normal pregame routine, so we appreciate that. Give a little insight into the best tight end, one of the best tight ends in the country. I'm not going to start that conversation. But, Michael, my question for you is, when Marcus Freeman was named a head coach, there's that video that went viral of him coming into the weight room or a meeting room, and you all went bananas because he got hired as the head coach. What have you seen out of Marcus Freeman that, like, re-legitimizes the way you reacted to him getting the job? And how has he been as a head coach for you, Michael?
I've loved him. I've loved him since the first day he's got here as a defensive coordinator. I was at a banquet my senior year of high school, and he was coaching for the University of Cincinnati, and he actually gave a speech for that banquet. And little did I know he was going to be my head coach here when I was a junior in college. So that's a cool little story. And secondly, I love it. I love everything about him. TGS, the golden standard, competitive spirit, those types of things. And he's a coach's player. He understands. He played at Ohio State. He's a very understanding coach. And, you know, coming in here, being a first-year coach at the University of Notre Dame is not an easy task. It never has been for anybody.
Playing college football on this level. No mess up. You good? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you on there. Definitely always had a tenacity for the sport. I love the physicality that my position is able to bring to the table.
But, yeah.
I'll get ready to play, man. It's time to play.
But, yeah, I didn't plan on coming on here long this morning.
And it will be time to play
Yeah.
this afternoon. Tulane really lobbied for College Game Day to come there. Did you guys see they spoofed us on the internet? That was pretty funny.
give me a quick pick. Who wins the game?
I like
Dorian Williams, the linebacker at Tulane, left the defense going with Tulane. Tulane's got to be due, right? 60 straight losses to ranked opponents. I mean, they go Tulane because they're due.
John Rice Plumlee is a game time decision,
But,
and this is
yeah,
a fun story.
I'm
We're
gonna
good fun to be in New Orleans.
Please
I'll
get
give
out
you-
there and enjoy goofing and messing with the old Mr. and Mrs. Harvey, since I'm on the truck speakers. You know, maybe I ought to start singing or something. You know, Kumbaya. And then they'll probably turn my shit off and say, fuck this dude. I ain't gonna sit there and listen to him. My truck speakers back. I listen to this motherfucker sing. He couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. But we'll move on to something. I'll tell you what was funny, Paul. I woke up right this morning, got on YouTube on the TV, and the first thumbnail I see, by gosh, and it's a fucking Ouija board. I mean, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That's exactly what I said. I said, you gotta be fucking shitting me. And I didn't even watch any stuff like that last night. I just pretty much went straight to bed. I put on the stories I listen to, being scared. The stories in the rain, scary stories in the rain. Y'all check him out. Go give him a sub. He's really awesome. Swamp Dweller, all of them. But yeah. So. Yeah, but I just thought that was weird. I wake up, turn on the TV, and there's a fucking Ouija board right in my face. First thing I see, I was like, what in the damn hell odds are that? Slim to fucking none. And now I can't even find that thumbnail nowhere. I know they ain't playing yet. Uh-oh. Paul's in trouble today. Indiana plays Ohio State at Ohio State. Good luck. Good luck. That's crazy, man. Now I can't find that thumbnail nowhere. That's weird. That's freaky. I don't know where the hell I went. That's wild. Oh, I wish I could find that. Maybe I can find it like this. No. That's Ingram. But But later tonight, yep. Look here, we're trying a new thing. It'll be look here, Scanner Saturday, y'all, tonight. Yeah. They die.
No,
Oh,
I forgot. I got you an early Christmas present.
oh, okay. Let's see what we got here, folks. Mr. and Mrs. Harvey, since they're y'all the only ones in here, which I really appreciate y'all. I got my number one fans here. I'm gonna have to get them something. What the hell is that?
UK
Oh,
gingerbread man.
it's cool. That's cool. Christmas. It's actually a Christmas ornament. A UK gingerbread man. That's badass, y'all. Too bad y'all I don't know if you can't see it. That's if you can. I know you're listening. You can't. I don't know if you can turn on if you can see me, Paul, or not, but. The UK gingerbread man. That's cool. So yeah. We'll hang it little feller over here. Prop him up right there. And it's weird how I can't find that damn. It's aggravating me. I'm sitting there looking for that one thumbnail with that damn board on it. And I didn't click on it, so it won't be in my history. That's what sucks. I have no clue what the hell
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, but. Give me a second. Let's see here. Here we go.
Cancer. And why can't for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word:
I was gonna put him in, I was gonna put him There's been a little change in the arrangement of who's on the stage because of the First Lady's husband contracting COVID. But look at this room and what you see. That's right. She's fine. Second lady, the first gentleman. How about that?
This guy's dumb as a brick. Yeah.
I want to thank that fellow down under. Thank you very much, Val. Appreciate it, Mr. Prime Minister.
That's not the one I'm looking for. That's not the one I was really looking for. All right, let's try this one.
Why attack Sanders? Why?
You're getting nervous, man. He apologized for saying that I was corrupt. He didn't say anything about whether or not I was telling the truth about Social Security. We've been doing everything we can do to keep Biden from being the nominee, and guess what? We tried it in Iraq. It's not working, so now we're going to try. In Iran. Excuse me. We tried in Ukraine.
Yeah, you'll get to the right country.
The Me Too movement has forced a cultural reckoning around the issue of sexual violence and harassment against women in America.
We have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
Very poor choice of words.
How do you explain the performance in Iowa, and why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
Number one, Iowa's a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced Tony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. A damn liar, man. That's not true. Let him go. Look, listen, I'm not voting for you. Well, I know you weren't, man. You think I thought you stand up and vote for you? You're too old to vote for me.
You're too old to vote for me.
The fact is, if you're going to take on the government, you need an F-15 with Hellfire missiles. There's no way an AK-47 is going to take care of you. If you're going to take on, you're worried about the government coming down, knocking down your door. We never said you could own any weapon at all. You can't have a magazine that has more than 10 rounds in it. We choose unity over division. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts.
We choose truth over facts.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Yeah.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids.
There's the number one, y'all.
We've acted together. We have never been unable to overcome whatever the problem was. If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight. Thank you very much.
fucking shit. And the list can go on. Oh, here's the one on.
This is Joe Biden, the President of the United States. Now, everyone knows that Joe Biden is a human gaffe machine.
This is the one I was
And
wanting to
since he
send
took
you
office
guys.
back in January
Right here,
2021, Biden has made bloopers, blunders, and gaffes on the daily. Here are some examples.
Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. Right now, in all 50 states in the District of Columbia. Well, I just want you to know, I may be Irish, but I'm not stupid. There are more corporations incorporated in America than every other state in America combined. Think about it. Think about what you'd think about at the time. The 16 that I've already done.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to find. I was wanting to send it to
Another
Paul.
20 or so. I'm going to be on it.
And so, after nearly 2 years of this nonsense, I think it's about the right time to highlight a bunch of the strange verbal gaffes, policy blunders, terrible optics, and a ton of straight-up lies that Biden has told since he took office. So, here's the top 25 of his residency so far. Let's start off things with number 25, when Biden was bragging about the amount of vaccines he purchased.
And the order, and that increases the total vaccine order in the United States by 50%, from 400 million order to 600 million. This is enough vaccine to fully vaccinate 300 Americans.
So according to Joe Biden, it's going to take 2 million doses for every one person to be fully vaccinated.
This is enough vaccine to fully vaccinate 300 Americans.
Now, obviously, this is one of the countless times that Joe Biden misread the teleprompter. But it's also one of those rare moments when Biden realized that he said it wrong and made an attempt to clarify.
But we want to make, look, that's, I want to repeat, it'll be enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans.
Coming in at number 24 is this moment where Joe Biden was asked a question amid the noise of Marine One. Now, it's unclear exactly what Biden said, and I'm not saying what I think he said, but I will say what it sounds like he said. And as these things tend to go, it went viral, which means that it was eventually fact-checked by the media because no one is allowed to have fun with anything. Reuters fact-check claims that Biden's response was being misconstrued and that he didn't actually say that his butt's been wiped. On the other hand, Reuters couldn't actually definitively say that he didn't. While his complete phrase is not entirely clear, Reuters was able to confirm that Biden did not say the words that have been attributed to him on social media posts. Of all the things to come out of Biden's mouth, this was not something that needed to be fact-checked. And it really shows the great lengths that the media will go to try and protect him. Next, as you may have seen featured on the channel, Biden has problems remembering people's names and or the
least we
position
knew he
that
whopped his
person
ass.
holds. Here's some examples.
Jay,
That's crazy, dude.
where is she? There you go, Jay. Leaders in civil rights like Karen
That's crazy.
Nagasaki. And look, healthcare is part of Abigail.
45 minutes. Damn.
Or your congresswoman's background.
But by far, the most glaring example of this comes in at number 23.
I took it to instill public confidence in the vaccine. President-elect Harris took hers today for the same reason.
President. I like
When
that.
President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona. Last week, President Harris and I stood in the United States Capitol. And that's why I asked President Harris to travel to the region last August. But all kidding aside, of course, President Harris is a proud Howard alum.
So on no less than 5 separate occasions, the President of the United States got confused and called his Vice President the President. 81 million votes, guys. 81 million votes. Number 22 on the list highlights Joe Biden's vitality, or apparent lack thereof.
Been so generous with your time in these difficult days.
You and I are going to write yet another chapter.
He's falling
The
asleep.
beautiful story of the friendship between our two nations, the United
Yeah.
States of America and the Jewish Democratic State of Israel.
Now, was Biden dozing off? I mean, it sure looks like he was. But for the sake of argument, let's say that Biden was completely awake. Then that begs the question, if he was awake, then why wasn't Joe respectful enough to look at the Israeli prime minister while he was being spoken to? And ultimately, whether or not he was asleep or not is not the issue. It comes down to optics.
He's falling asleep again, that stupid bud. Look. That dumb fuck.
To be fair, climate conferences are pretty boring, so you can't really blame him. But then there's this underrated clip from Biden attending the commissioning of the USS Delaware.
I haven't watched all these, y'all. What is that? Some half-assed salute?
And for comparison, here's Biden with his eyes open and his eyes closed. Clearly, there's a difference. But don't worry, America, he wasn't asleep. Joe Biden was just resting his eyes. And at number 21, on June 23rd, 2022, according to the White House description, Biden dropped by a meeting about offshore wind turbines. While there, Biden pulled out a card to refer to some talking points.
Oh, yeah, man.
And photographer Jim Watson captured images showing that Joe Biden was given very specific instructions. You enter the Roosevelt Room and say hello to participants. You take your seat. You give brief comments. And notice that you is capitalized and in bold, just in case he thinks that the instructions are for someone else. Other instructions included, you ask a question, you thank participants, and you depart. I don't know who's actually in charge of the country, but it's not Joe Biden. Number 20 happened during a rally at the National Education Association headquarters in Washington, D.C., where Joe Biden acknowledged an unknown woman in the crowd.
Guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
That sounds good.
This woman helped me get an awful lot done. Anyway.
She was 12, I was 30. This woman helped me get an awful lot done. The fact that the Biden supporters laughed along to this is very concerning.
No
shit. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
And speaking of creepy, cringy Joe Biden, here's number 19.
Guess what? Employers can't find workers.
Oh, the whisper.
Yeah. Pay them more. What's happening?
Oh, yeah, I got to put the camera on this.
First thing I asked on the election results, I said, how did I do in Scranton? I won every precinct. I wrote the bill on the environment. I got $1.9 trillion released.
So the fuck is he whispering to?
Getting checks in the mail.
In a room of people.
This week. A lot has been happened already. Possibilities. Possibilities. We could do anything. Guess what? Grows the economy. Benefits everybody. Hurts nobody. If you take a look at what many other people I grew up have cancer.
And that was startling. The president of the
Sorry,
United
guys, I didn't
States
mean to.
saying that he has cancer is a big deal. But of course, most people assumed, or at least hoped, that it was a gaffe. And the Republican National Committee was quick to seize on it by posting a tweet. Did Joe Biden just announce he has cancer? And the fact checker from the Washington Post, Glenn Kessler, responded by saying, how dumb is this tweet? Check out Biden's medical report. Before he became president, he had non-melanoma skin cancers removed. Has no one at RNC Research ever had this common procedure? However, skin cancer is caused by the sun and not oil that magically blows through the air. Not to mention that Biden said, I have cancer, not had cancer.
That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer.
So no, Biden doesn't have cancer. Well, at least not that we know of. Number 17 can be defined in a single word or something.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
So during an event celebrating the first African-American woman confirmed to the Supreme Court, not to mention the first not to be able to define what a woman is, Biden decided to tell a story about President Xi Jinping of China.
Xi Jinping, traveling with him, I guess we traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact.
So Biden claims that he actually traveled 17,000 miles with Xi Jinping, and then immediately says, I don't know that for a fact. Got it. But long story short, Biden has been making this false claim for years. The reality is that A, according to an extensive fact check by the Washington Post, Biden never actually traveled 17,000 miles with Xi Jinping. And B, according to my research, which includes photographic evidence and Biden's trip itinerary, in which I featured previously in this video, Biden was never in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. But he keeps saying that he was because Joe Biden is a pathological liar.
I was in the
Next, on July 4th, 2021, the 7-day average of COVID cases had dropped nearly 375% since April, and Joe Biden stood on the south lawn of the White House to celebrate.
This year, the 4th of July is a day of special celebration. We are closer than ever to declaring our independence from a deadly virus. So today, while the virus hasn't been vanquished, we know this: it no longer controls our lives.
However, like his predictions on, well, everything, Joe Biden was wrong, and it turned out to be his mission accomplished moment. On July 2nd, the 7-day moving average was just under 14,000 new cases a day. In less than 3 weeks' time, cases rose by 241%. And by the first week in September, the 7-day average had risen 1,081%. And that brings us to number 15, when on September 9th, 2021, Joe Biden went on television to address that rise in COVID cases.
I want to emphasize that the vaccines provide very strong protection from severe illness from COVID-19. That if you are fully vaccinated, your risk of severe illness from COVID-19 is very low. In fact, based on available data from the summer, only 1 out of every 160,000 fully vaccinated Americans was hospitalized for COVID per day. Recent data indicates there is only 1 confirmed positive case per 5,000 fully vaccinated Americans per day.
So what Joe Biden was saying was that at the time, if you were vaccinated, breakthrough cases were rare, and that hospitalizations were super duper rare. And this is something that should have been celebrated, right?
For the vast majority of you who've gotten vaccinated, I understand your anger at those who haven't gotten vaccinated.
Then why is there any anger? Joe Biden just said that if you were vaccinated, that your chances of having a breakthrough case was 1 in 5,000. That's 0.02%.
My message to unvaccinated Americans is this: you've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
So 3 months earlier, Biden proclaimed that the virus no longer controls our lives, but now he's blaming the unvaccinated for getting the vaccinated sick. You can't make this stuff up, guys. And in a last-ditch effort to get more Americans vaccinated, Biden decided to break the law.
My job as president is to protect all Americans. So tonight, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated.
But the OSHA mandate was constitutionally dubious, not to mention very illegal. And the Supreme Court ultimately ruled that the Department of Labor didn't have the authority to force employers to implement a policy, and it never went into effect. Biden's anger had nothing to do with protecting the vaccinated. The reality is that Joe Biden promised to crush the virus, and then when cases started to rise dramatically after his July 4th mission accomplished moment, Biden needed someone to blame, because nothing is ever Joe Biden's fault. Next, here's constitutional scholar Joe Biden.
This is a nation that honors our Constitution. We do not reject it. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution.
However, when it comes to the Second Amendment,
no amendment to the Constitution is absolute, and no amendment to the Constitution is absolute.
So, in at number 14 is when Joe Biden attempts to justify his anti-gun stance by repeatedly lying about the Second Amendment.
And I might add, the Second Amendment from the day it was passed limited the type of people who could own a gun, what type of weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. From the very beginning, the Second Amendment didn't say you can own any gun you want, big as you want. You couldn't buy a cannon when, in fact, the Second Amendment passed.
Biden has been making false claims about cannon ownership for a long time, and it's been fact-checked and debunked by several outlets, including PolitiFact. Not to mention that the Washington Post has fact-checked Biden on this multiple times and has even pleaded with him to stop saying it. Biden has already been fact-checked on this claim, and it has been deemed false. We have no idea where he conjured up this notion about a ban on cannon ownership in the early days of the Republic, but he needs to stop making this claim. And then he conflates your Second Amendment rights with deer hunting.
What do you think the deer hunter wear Kevlar vest? What the hell you need 20 bullets for? You must be a hell of a terrible shot. I'm serious. Think about it. Man, assault weapons with high-capacity magazines will up to 100 rounds. You think the deer are wearing Kevlar vests? And I'd say, how many deer out here are wearing Kevlar vests? Yeah, no, but I'm seriously, think about it.
But of course, the Second Amendment isn't about deer hunting and hunters walking around with 100-round mags. It's about your God-given right to defend yourself against criminals, a tyrannical government, and or an invading army. Coming in at lucky number 13, Joe Biden has a counter-argument.
As I say, the blood of patriots, you know, and all this stuff about how we're going to have to move against the government.
Yeah, well, I've never seen a 100-round clip in a bucket. 30-06.
Never been. If you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons.
Whoa, what? It kind of sounds like that Joe Biden is threatening American citizens with F-15s and nuclear weapons.
That's what I thought.
Nothing to see here, folks.
And for those brave right-wing Americans who say it's all about keeping America's independent and safe, if you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15. You need something a little more than a gun. No, I'm not joking. Think about this. Think about the rationale we use.
So Biden claims that if you want to successfully fight against the government, you're going to need more than guns. Sure, okay. But at the same time, Joe Biden and the Democrats have claimed for nearly
me and
2
Paul's
years
going to go later on today. He's going to come pick me up. We're going to go purchase our fleet of
American
F-15s.
democracy was on the verge of death. Got it.
You need F-15s and nuclear weapons.
Next, there's one of the biggest foreign policy meltdowns in our nation's history, the withdrawal of United States troops.
That's a joke.
And at number 12 ABC's George Stephanopoulos asked Joe Biden about it.
We've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
It happened days ago, George. Why are you bringing that up? Come on, man.
So you don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens.
And then 1 week later, because of this bumbling idiot, 13 service members lost their lives in a suicide bombing. And during their dignified transfer event at Dover Air Force Base, this happened.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows this one, man. Remember what he did? Checking his watch, kept checking his watch. What a prick.
And Biden got slammed for this.
Yeah.
Service members not only died under his command, but they died because of his incompetence as commander-in-chief.
Exactly.
And when you view the video, you can tell that Biden knows that he probably shouldn't be checking his watch, because notice that he did it in a way to try and make it look less obvious that he was looking at it. And what's even more insulting is that there's time-stamped photographic evidence that Biden had checked his watch at multiple times.
Damn.
From an optics perspective, this makes him look like an impatient child. It's incredibly disrespectful. And
Yeah.
it should be no surprise that during the botched withdrawal, Biden's approval rating sunk below 50% and hasn't recovered since. At number 10 is from Easter 2022, when Biden started talking to a reporter in a crowd about Afghanistan, and a very special guest magically appeared to whisk him away.
Pakistan should not, and Afghanistan should be speaking.
All these What the fuck?
For 4 years, you'd hear from the left that the world is laughing at Donald Trump. But with Joe Biden, they're so afraid that he might say something stupid that they have to send staffers in bunny suits to distract him and lead him around like he's a child. Again, it comes down to optics. Do you think that other countries see this and think that Biden is the most powerful man in the world? Yeah, sure. All I know is that the Easter Bunny won't be doing that again.
Hey guys, play the line like everybody else.
This for Brandon. Next, at number 9, is when Biden spoke at a conference on hunger, nutrition, and health. And as presidents are wont to do, Biden acknowledged members of Congress attending the event.
I want to thank all of you here, for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this a reality.
So Jackie would be former Representative Jackie Walorski. And I say former because unfortunately, a congresswoman died in a car crash back on August 3rd.
Kidding me.
And you'd think that Joe Biden would know this, as he put out a statement regarding her death saying, Jill and I are shocked and saddened by the death of Congresswoman Jackie Walorski of Indiana. And the excuse from the White House press secretary was that the congresswoman was on Biden's mind because he was meeting her family later in the week.
He very much looks forward to discussing her remarkable legacy of public service with them when he sees her family this coming Friday.
He said, Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? She must not be here.
No, I totally understand. I just explained she was on top of mind.
So let me get this straight. The late congresswoman was on top of mind for Joe Biden because he was planning on honoring her at a bill signing because she recently died, which is why he called out to her.
The confusing part is why, if she and the family is top of mind, does the president think that she's living and in the room?
I don't find that confusing.
Calling out to a dead woman, it's not confusing.
Yeah.
It's completely normal, America.
Yeah, break out the Ouija board.
Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was.
And at number 8, less than 2 weeks after the Where's Jackie incident, Biden gave remarks in Hagerstown, Maryland, and this is how it began.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America. Made in America.
Not sure which is worse. The fact that
Oh
Biden
my
reads
God.
teleprompter and literally screws up every
2
single
words.
speech.
Made in
Or that
America.
Biden supporters are absolute sheep that will cheer for anything.
Yeah.
Made in America.
Yeah.
That's not hyperbole. I'm not joking about that.
I guarantee it.
What a dolt.
Dumb
And
motherfucker.
when Congresswoman Lauren Boebert tweeted 2 words, "Let's go Brandon," it was clearly a reference to Joe Biden's flub. And thousands of people took to Twitter to call her dumb, a moron, and an idiot. And by doing so, they were inadvertently insulting Joe Biden. Great job, geniuses. And what makes this even more ridiculous is that Biden made the following claim just a few weeks prior.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused. I haven't, look,
2 words, made in America.
On May 23rd, during a press conference in Tokyo, Biden was asked about aggression from China towards Taiwan, and that moment comes in at number 7.
Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
You are.
Probably water.
it's a commitment we made.
Soon after, the White House had to walk this back and said that U.S. policy regarding Taiwan hasn't changed, and that Mr. Biden reiterated our commitment under the Taiwan Relations Act to provide Taiwan with the military means to protect itself. Now, under that act, Congress is committed to selling weapons to Taiwan for its self-defense, but the act doesn't say specifically whether or not the United States is militarily obligated to defend Taiwan in the event of an attack. Furthermore, the White House, under every presidency, has never come straight out and said that it would defend Taiwan with our troops. This is called strategic ambiguity, and Joe Biden seemingly killed that policy.
Mr. President, is the policy of strategic ambiguity towards Taiwan dead? No. Could you explain?
No. Mr. President, would you send troops to Taiwan inside the middle?
Our policy has not changed at all. I stated that when I made my statement. That
So to be clear, Biden said yes, that the U.S. would defend Taiwan militarily, and the White House was like, no, that's not what he said. But then, during a 60 Minutes interview in September, Biden said it again.
What should Chinese President Xi know about your commitment to Taiwan? Would U.S. forces defend the island?
yes, if in fact there was an unprecedented attack.
After our interview, a White House official told us U.S. policy has not changed. Officially, the U.S. will not say whether American forces would defend Taiwan.
But the problem is that Joe Biden, the so-called commander-in-chief, has now unequivocally said that U.S. forces would defend Taiwan. Twice! And the fact that the White House has to step in and walk back so much of what he says really calls into question who is running the country. Because again, clearly it ain't Joe Biden. And speaking of walking back, in March 2022, amidst Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Biden flew overseas to meet with NATO, the European Union, and the G7, and made some of the biggest gaffes of his residency. And Peter Doocy from Fox News asked about that.
Are you worried that other leaders in the world are going to start to doubt that America is back if some of these big things that you say on the world stage keep getting walked back?
What's getting walked back?
It sounded like you told U.S. troops they were going to Ukraine.
And you're going to see when you're there, so some of you have been there, you're going to see women, young people standing in the middle of the front of a damn tank, just saying, I'm not leaving. I'm holding my ground.
It sounded like you said it was possible the U.S. would use a chemical weapon.
If chemical weapons were used in Ukraine, would that trigger a military response from NATO?
It would trigger a response in kind.
It sounded like you were calling for regime change in Russia.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain powerful.
And despite the video evidence showing that Biden did in fact say those three things,
none of the three occurred.
None of the three occurred?
None of the three.
God bless America.
And at number 5, we explore Biden's failures regarding inflation.
And by the way, talking inflation, the overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. Right. No one's talking about this great, deal. So again, if it turns out that what I've done so far, what we've done so far, is a mistake, it's going to show.
Oh, it's showing all right. During Biden's first year in office, inflation rose from 1.4% annually to 7%. This is around the time that the White House was using the term transitory inflation.
The vast majority of the experts, including Wall Street, are suggesting that it's highly unlikely that's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. We will, in fact, reduce inflation.
But 3 months later, inflation was not being reduced. And economists were saying that inflation was here to stay for a while.
The Wall Street Journal recently talked to like 67 financial experts who said that they saw high inflation going all the way or deep into 2022. Do you think it's going to last for a while?
I don't think so. I don't think it will last depending what we do. If we stay exactly where we are, yes. If we don't make these investments, yes.
And yet, despite these investments, inflation is higher than it's been in 40 years. And even though we are clearly in a recession, our economy is strong as hell. These investments.
Let's read that. In these investments. So y'all, 250 billion, 1.9 trillion, 1.2 trillion, and 740 billion. Yeah.
On Build Back Better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll read the name of them. The first one is the CHIPS Act, which was 250 billion, then the American Rescue Plan, 1.9 trillion. Then what's that say?
Infrastructure and Jobs Act.
Yeah. 1.2 trillion. Then
Inflation Reduction Act, formerly the Build Back Better.
Yeah, 740 billion. Jesus Christ. Now think about it. Take all that money, right? And add that up, right? And instead of fucking being imagine, they could have gave everybody in the United States oh God, who knows how much? Probably $5,000 each.
More than that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just,
They're in trillions.
yeah. Fucking probably give them.
That's 3 trillion.
Yeah. So well, yeah, that's enough to give fucking 10 grand each. Easy.
That's trillions, honey. They
Yeah.
could give everybody in the United States $1 million each.
Yeah. That's what's crazy. They can give
748, 940. Might as well say $4 trillion right there.
And how many people are in the United States? Like 300 and somewhat.
I don't
What is it,
remember.
like 380 million?
I don't remember. I'm looking it up.
Let's do some math here, Paul. Mr. and Mrs. Harvey, let's do some math. So, hold on a second. That's
United States population. The population of the United States of America is 331 million.
I thought I was close. I think it was 300. But I
So I might as well say 332 million.
all right, 332 million. All right. So how much it takes there, you say? So
1, 2, 3. Might as well say 4 trillion.
all right. So you say you can give us each a million. So say 332 times a million.
332 million.
Yeah.
Times 1 million.
I don't think you give them a million. You might be able to.
Million, billion. That'd be 332 trillion.
Yeah, see?
Well, I could give them
10,000. Do about 10,000.
332 million.
I knew it could be a million. Because I was like, goddamn, no, that'd be like a lot.
Let's say 100,000.
Alright, let's try 100 grand.
Ow.
Quit, Jazzy.
It's still 33 trillion.
That's not, well, that's, fuck, look.
So we're looking at 4 trillion.
Okay, 4 as well. Like I said, 10 grand.
Okay. 332.
I thought I was right. That. Quit, Jasper. Fuck.
Million. That's 3,322,000,000,000.
Close. There you go. That's it. So they could go, instead of fucking doing all that shit that's done is absolutely jack shit, right?
Yeah.
They could give every person, all right, 10 grand.
Well, and even then, you've got to think how many illegal aliens are reported in that population.
I don't know. But you still give them 10, but still you could give, like, everybody that's set, right, still 10 grand.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
So I figure we're going to about 10,000. Yeah. Instead of fucking that ain't done jack shit.
And then if you could give them even more if you take out people that are already millionaires.
Well, yeah, too. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, do it like, true, because if you take, that's counting the whole everybody. So if you take, like they did with the stimulus, right? You only make that something like that's not, 300 million.
So they give it to everybody that makes under
100,000.
Yeah.
100,000 and below.
Yeah.
So I know that ain't 300 million.
No.
So you'd probably do that and give them 20. Easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So you take that, cut that in half at least, right?
Yeah.
300 million, right? And well, put it this way, you can guarantee 15,000. Easy. That's crazy, man. It could have gave everybody 15 grand. And they're all that's crazy.
Inflation is higher than it's been in 40 years. And even though we are clearly in a recession,
our economy is strong as hell. Inflation is worldwide, worse off everywhere else in the United States.
Biden's claims should be labeled as misinformation. First, our economy is not strong as hell because we've had 2 negative quarters of GDP, which technically means we're in a recession. Second, inflation isn't higher everywhere else in the world. Of the G20 countries, these 13 currently have a lower inflation rate than the United States.
Damn.
And worldwide, there are 80 countries that have a lower inflation rate. Not to mention that a major contributor to high inflation is high gas prices. And that stems directly from Biden's green energy policy and not Russia's war with Ukraine, by the way, no matter how many times Biden says it.
Yeah,
Putin's price hike. Putin's price hike and Putin's price hike. Now Putin's price hike is hitting Americans at the pump.
In other words, President Ice Cream Man is lying to you. He always has, and he always will. Back in October 2021, professional race car driver Brandon Brown won the NASCAR Xfinity Series Sparks 300. And during the after-race interview, the crowd was chanting Joe Biden, but an NBC Sports reporter said that they were saying something else.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to...
And with that, let's go, Brandon was born. It became a huge meme that has pretty much become the go-to insult when it comes to everything Joe Biden.
Across this country, we've seen this new phenomenon lately, chanted at sporting events and on signs. The phrase is "Let's go, Brandon," a sort of code for a profane slogan attacking President Biden. What has the president made of that?
I don't think he spends much time focused on it.
And that's a shame, because coming in at number 4,
he's building the White House,
Dr. First Lady, we're taking phone calls for NORAD's Santa Tracker hotline. And this magic moment happened.
I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
To this day,
that's that dude called.
Also, the best Christmas present ever.
Hey, by the way, where are you in Oregon? Where's your home?
Look at her. She looks down.
Even Dr. Jill is like, what the Joe?
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Number 3 on the list really requires no introduction.
Oh, yeah, this is the one where he fell over on his bicycle. Oh, he's dumb fast.
Yep. Joe Biden fell over while on a bike that was standing still. And he even had one foot firmly on the ground already. So falling over takes a really special kind of talent. And what makes this ironic is the fact that during the 2020 campaign, Biden compared his health and stamina to Donald Trump's.
Some people are always in a hurry. They run when they could walk, race up steps when others take it slow. When Joe Biden's president, America is just going to have to keep up.
Look at how he steps and look how I step. Watch how I run up ramps and he stumbles down ramps. Okay? Come on.
Yes, Joe, let's do that. Here's number 2 on the list.
Oh, yeah, I love this one where it falls. Like, yeah, you run up that wide.
Say what you want about President Trump, but you've never seen him trip while walking up a flight of stairs, let alone trip 3 times in a row. My prediction, Joe Biden is going to be the first sitting president to break his hip. Guys, we did it. We finally reached the number 1 spot on our list, but it needs a little setup. On August 25th, 2022, Joe Biden decided to ramp up his attacks on Republicans.
The MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and economic security. They're a threat to our very democracy. Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans, MAGA Republicans, MAGA Republicans. So how extreme are these MAGA Republicans? If the MAGA Republicans win control of the Congress, it won't matter where you live. These MAGA Republicans won't stop there. The MAGA Republicans are destroying America.
Woo! They're destroying America! And that inflammatory rhetoric was just a warm-up for a speech he would give in Philadelphia titled "The Continued Battle for the Soul of the Nation." And that speech is our number 1 Biden blooper.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans put a clear and present danger to our democracy. The threat to American democracy is real. We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy. The MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backward.
And Biden's speech backfired in the most glorious way possible, largely due to this singular image of Joe Biden in front of a blood-soaked hellscape background shouting, fists in air, and flanked by Marines. An image that didn't exactly convey unity, but it did scream fascism. When Americans see an image, and the first thing that comes to mind is 1930s Germany, it's safe to say that Joe Biden has an optics problem. And the day after Captain Unity's speech, where he vilified Republicans and called them a threat to democracy, he denied that he said any of it.
He shit me.
Come on, look, guys. You keep trying to make that case. I don't consider it.
Typical Brandon. And that's it. We made it to the end of the countdown.
Lord,
I hope it was informative and entertaining.
it was very fucking entertaining. That motherfucker is so dumb. And
on the bottom.
what does it say?
Donald Trump sings Waiting on a Jet Plane by Don Damla.
Are you fucking kidding me?
All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morning. The taxi's waiting, he's blowing his horn. Already on so lonesome I could die. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you wait for me. Hold me like you never let me go.
That's fine.
'Cause I'm leaving all night fine. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh baby, I hate to go.
Okay, I didn't see the point of that video, but okay. Did you? No. Donald Trump sings leaving. I told you it was Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump singing.
I spliced it together of all his speeches.
That's pretty good.
Even though Tuesday feels like 100 days ago, we thought it was important to see it again, since it might be the only presidential debate. And it was pretty fun to watch, as long as you don't live in America.
Good evening, I'm your moderator, Chris Wallace. And I think I'm going to do a really, really good job tonight. First, I want to lay out the rules, which both parties agreed to in advance. Each candidate will have 2 minutes, uninterrupted. Boring. Mr. President, I haven't even introduced the candidates yet. Tell that to my Adderall, Chris. Now let's get this show on the road and off the rails. And you did take the COVID test you promised to take in advance, correct? Absolutely. Scout's honor. Well, President Trump has already introduced himself, so let's now welcome the Democratic candidate. Ooh, here comes the booing. Former Vice President of the United States. Allegedly. And Senator from Delaware. Not even a real state. Joe Biden. Mr. Vice President. Just 1 second, Chris. Okay. It looks like you're ready to debate, Joe. Absolutely not. I've got the beginning of 46 thoughts. Now let's do this. I'm holding my bladder. Let's get at her. Tonight we'll be discussing 6 major topics. minutes, none of which anyone will remember by tomorrow. We begin with the Supreme Court. President Trump, 2 minutes.
I'm going to do 10. I'd like to begin with a list of complaints. People are mean to me. Joe here is very mean. Chris Wallace is mean. The economy is mean. They keep losing jobs, which is mean to me. The China virus has been very mean to me by it being a hoax. And that statement will not come back to haunt me later this week.
And what about the question I asked you about the Supreme Court?
I think I answered that already. We're very excited about our nominee, Amy Cristina Barcelona, and it was so nice to welcome her the other day with open arms and uncovered faces.
Mr. Vice President, same question. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Now look, here's the deal. No, it's not. Excuse me, please. No, whatever you're going to say, no.
Mr. President, please let him speak. He let you speak, now let him speak.
But he's lying. I can't point out if he says a lie. I said 2 words, you son of a no. Don't do it, Joe. It's exactly what he wants. Don't let your inner Whitey Bulger come out. Just flash them all that smile they taught you in anger management.
Now, Mr. Vice President, and only Mr. Vice President, would you consider adding additional justices to the Supreme Court?
He won't even answer.
I just asked the question.
And he won't even answer it, just like he won't answer what about his son Hunter and Burisma and the mayor of Moscow and Obama was spying on me and he emailed Benghazi.
Mr. President, no one understands what you're saying. You're just listing terms you've heard on Fox News, and it sounds like you're saying the names of characters.
What's up, Blue Blood? It's good stuff. I've done some football. Now we're going on here and we were watching Joe Biden's goofy shit.
Now look, here's the deal. Can I respond to that, Chris?
That was Jim Carrey.
Which one?
Biden.
Oh, that fucker. That fucker is really out there. Yeah.
Recipe. Letdown. It's today. Can LSU?
But yeah, we were into football, but we kind of went to Joe Biden fucking around. Yeah, 2 hours. Good for me, y'all. It's getting ready time to start some football. But if everything goes good, y'all, I will be back on later. Appreciate Paul, Becca, Blue Blood, y'all showing up. Even, yeah, appreciate it. And y'all, Paul, man, you have a safe. I know it's snowing up your way, dude. You be careful, dude. And everybody else have a great and wonderful day. Let's go, fucking Brandon. Peace out.